Well, I will say this. This Raw kind of started off interesting enough. Having Damien Sandow go through a makeover and come out not looking like the. Well, did I say Damien Sandow? Yeah, and I guess that's what I mean by Daniel Bryan coming out looking like Damien Sandow's older brother. I guess when you expected a corporate makeover, you would think that he would look like Daniel Bryan, like when he first made his debut, have a very short beard with his hair cut back pretty much in a buzz cut. But he came out looking like freaking Damien Sandow's older brother. Yeah. And as usual, Vince McMahon comes out and just does something random like he usually's been doing lately, kind of showing that he's becoming a little bit off his game. Um, Practically taking you back to WrestleMania with you. I mean, whatever. For anyone that actually does remember WrestleMania, I can't remember which number it was, but I remember that it was McMahon versus Trump, and we all knew that if Vince McMahon lost, he would have to shave his head. That pretty much just came back to me as like an old but good memory, and I don't know. It was really pointless for Vince McMahon to even be out there. We were actually expecting John Cena, but he ended up having his promo a little bit later. But speaking of promos from John Cena, and this is one thing that Answer the 10 kind of was spot on about on Twitter. Why does he always go thuggy every time he does a good promo? Like, he has, like, for some reason, I don't know, he has to channel his inner Tupac. Like, every single time he comes out there and does a good promo. Like, that's just how John Cena is. I'm like, okay, John Cena, you can just talk straight out, man. You don't have to, like, go all thuggy on us. Like we understand, you're John Cena. You don't have to channel your black side. It's all good, brother. It's all good. Just be yourself. Do you. But but I have noticed that, yeah, every time he pops out a good promo, he has to channel his inner Tupac. I mean, seriously, he has a little Pac influence, and he has to channel that every time he has a good promo. That is something that's spot on by Answer the 10, and y'all should follow them. They're pretty spot on when it comes to wrestling facts. But honestly, I really didn't care much about this main event because the Shield is becoming a very watered down faction. Like, ever since the Wyatt family came out, we're more focused on the Wyatt family. But the Shield, well, before the Wyatt family even arrived, the Shield, they had their own meaning. They had their own reason why they came out and gave out beatdowns. Now they're soldiers without a clue. And seriously, I cared less about this match, let alone why they were even in the opener in the first place. But honestly, we end up seeing Dolph Ziggler versus AJ Lee's purse holder. Yes, he's a freaking purse holder, dude. There is nothing romantical. And yeah, I'm taking that from Flavor Flav. But seriously, there is nothing romantic about Big E's and AJ Lee's relationship. There's not gonna be. It's just not. I'm sorry, it isn't. She's gonna freaking use him, and he's gonna get tired of her, and he's gonna start moving on. I'd rather her focus on her own career. But we're end up gonna hear from them on the Miz's show on SmackDown this Friday. Like, I really do care, but it really does seem to me that the WWE is literally milking this feud between Caitlyn and AJ for all that it's worth, because it's brought so much to the Divas division. I get it, but now that you have Total Divas, don't you want to kind of bring the show to life instead of focusing on AJ Lee and Caitlyn, who is going to probably come to a head at SummerSlam? And I'm really predicting this. I'm predicting a triple threat match or a handicap match with Layla and AJ versus Caitlyn, or Layla versus AJ versus Caitlyn. I'm predicting this. And speaking of that Divas match, that infuriated me even more because Layla happens to be a great wrestler. Not only that, she was a women's champion, or a dual women's champion, and I don't think she had the Divas title yet. But seeing her skip around with AJ is just flat out insulting. I'm sorry. This woman does not need to team up with a 12-year-old. She has her own legacy that was put out before AJ Lee even came along. She doesn't need her to be on the air. She needs to have a decent match. And the fact that AJ Lee came out as a distraction for Layla when Layla was obviously a good opponent against Caitlyn was ridiculous. And it really makes me mad that everybody's following AJ's lead instead of AJ following her own lead. Can we please do something to mix this up? Please. And stop insulting Layla, especially her legacy, by her skipping around the ring like a 12-year-old. Actually, she don't even look like a 12-year-old. She's like a 30-year-old skipping around with a 12-year-old. Seriously, stop. Stop having her follow AJ Lee's lead. Please. And then we end up having Ryback versus Mark Henry. Why? We all know what happened. We've already seen this at WrestleMania, and we know the outcome. Ryback can't freaking beat Mark Henry. So why have this match that only lasted for a few minutes? Not even a minute. It lasted probably a minute. See how that Ryback kind of bailed out knowing that he couldn't beat Mark Henry. Ridiculousness. Seriously. And we had a few backstage segments with Triple H coming out, well, with Stephanie pretty much coming out talking to Triple H and just saying, my dad chewed me. I'm like, you're freaking Stephanie McMahon. You've been chewed out by your dad before. Have you taken it seriously? No. But then it's also something that kind of popped in my brain. How turned on does she get when Triple H says the word the? Like, seriously, she looks like she gets turned on by any word that comes out of Triple H's mouth. Like, that's an instant aphrodisiac for her. I mean, this is how I see it. I'm just being real. It's like she gets a hard on every time that Triple H actually speaks. But honestly, it's nice to see that Triple H is going to try to do something. I'm doubting that he is. But I'm thinking that maybe the fact that, and I think that maybe the whole McMahon being involved, maybe they're playing for the fact that everyone keeps saying that Vince McMahon is senile. He needs to step down. He doesn't know what he's doing, blah, 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 blah. Maybe they're playing on that. I don't know, but it would be nice for Triple H to actually step up for once and actually do something for this company and bring out the future instead of them depending on the vets. Speaking of vets, why is RVD in all these random feuds? Seriously, not even random feuds. Why is he in these random matches? Like, seriously, he's in these random matches. He was in a triple threat match a little while ago for the number one contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship title. And now he's back to doing random matches. Don't bring him back if you have no plans for him. He's not even in a feud. Seriously. It would be better if he was in a feud with somebody, but he's in nothing. Chris Jericho has been in several feuds since he's came back. Or at least matches that were on a pay-per-view. Honestly, I really don't know what they're going to do with RVD, but it's like really ridiculous. Why even have him come back if they're not going to do anything with him? Seriously, that's just how I feel about it. But, I mean, honestly, my main event of the night was the Wyatt family. Because we finally saw the Wyatt family actually be in a match in the ring. That guy with the red beard, if y'all know their names, put the comment in the comment section below. I heard their names before, but I was so focused on the red beard. I'm sorry, I was kind of drowned out by the red beard. But it was really nice seeing him in the match. It was like, man. When he was like taunting Tensai in the ring, I actually thought that was pretty funny. But honestly, seeing Tons of Funk versus the Wyatt family was actually pretty refreshing for me because I was tired of the Wyatt family being in all of these matches that were squash matches. And Bray Wyatt, I will always love Bray Wyatt's character. That man is awesome. Not only that, he brought out the beast in Kane. Finally, we see Kane coming out as a beast. Thank you. It was awesome. I know there were probably tons of Kane fans that were really happy to see this. And honestly, at SummerSlam, it'll be him versus the Wyatt family or him versus Bray Wyatt. Either or, it's going to be a good match that I am looking forward to. Highly. But honestly, guys, I'm not going to say that this Raw was sad. But I am going to say that it didn't make any sense for some of these things that happened. Especially, why give Daniel Bryan a corporate makeover? Why give Randy Orton the belt? I mean, not the belt, but why give Randy Orton the briefcase? And then, speaking of the whole Money in the Bank briefcase. You have the Money in the Bank briefcase, which actually did have meaning. way back in the day when it first came out, WrestleMania 21. And now it's just a glorified joke. And you have Damien Sandow's briefcase being thrown in the Gulf of Mexico. And then having Cody Rhodes fish it out, only to have nothing but a big bunch of sloshed piece of paper in the middle of it. And obviously it's something that can't be used. And then you got Randy Orton, who really does not need the Money in the Bank briefcase at all, to be the guy who's going to possibly take down John Cena, period. Either or, he's going to probably be the next champion. And I'm like, why? The Money in the Briefcase was made for the future. It wasn't made for vets that's already had it 9 times before. But now it just seemed like it's more of a glorified joke. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Do you feel that the Money in the Bank briefcase is now more of a joke than ever when Sandow's briefcase got stolen and tossed in the drink, and then seeing Randy Orton having it now, and Damien Sandow, yes, I'm freaking saying it, Damien Sandow's corporate makeover, because that's what he looked like, people. I'm sorry. How do you guys feel about Daniel Bryan possibly having a makeover, or them trying to make him over in the first place? Leave your comments in the comment section below, or send a video response. But I will say this. Raw was not all that bad. It wasn't horrible or anything. They actually did gear some of their matches towards SummerSlam. But, crying out loud. And, I mean, I guess I would talk about Brock Lesnar actually being able to talk. And that was kind of refreshing to actually hear him sentence 2 words together without him sounding like a blah, 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 blah. But seriously. But him was like, go ahead, Paul, say something stupid. I actually thought that was pretty funny. And Paul Heyman really did do something stupid for having a match with CM Punk next week. And we all know he's going to have help. And how Curtis Axel is somewhere in the background, seeing how he's the IC champion, but he's not so much the face of the IC champion. But anyway, guys, let me know how you feel about Raw. I really don't think it was all that bad, but I want to hear what you guys think. It's Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.